Green Bay hustle, grind it up. Hit the field, we don't bluff. Touchdown dances, feel the love. Jordan's got that MVP stuff. It's time for OPE up, let's go. Packers bringing that show. It's time for you know who. Wanna go, gonna glow.
Aloha and welcome back to our final opponent preview for the regular season, the 2025 regular season. This is going to be a funky episode because the Packers have not practiced. We don't know who's going to practice at this point. So this is going to be the speculation spectacular, as one would say. Just because the Packers can't do anything about their playoff seeding. Who knows who will be medically cleared for this game, and byproduct of that, who is going to be allowed to play in this game because of the other guys who are medically not cleared to play in this game. So we are going to shoot the breeze tonight, Joe and I. Joe's got a new dog. I've got what's it called? We're just going to speculate abound here, and we'll just see where the cards fall. And honestly, I don't think we even necessarily need to do an over under today. We can just kind of put down our thoughts on who is and isn't playing, and that'll be our over under because it's going to be really hard to figure out over unders when we don't even know who's going to suit up for this game.
Right. Yeah. No clue. We can guesstimate on stuff. I even was looking to see if the Packers had something on their website, and they don't for week 18. They don't even have a guesstimation. So I'm looking at the week 17 reports, and I'm going to base my stuff off that. I know we've had kind of conversations, offline and all that about how I think certain players do need to play in this last game, even if it's just for a series or two. And sorry, Mike's giving me some weird hand gestures. I just want to make sure everything's fine.
I'm just checking if the mute button on my headset works like it's supposed to.
Okay.
Continue.
But, I know the big one, and Monty and I kind of had a back and forth on Twitter over it, is Jordan Love. And the big thing is people say he needs to sit. Well, I understand that. And there's a risk with the final game of every season, especially going into the wild card playoffs. But he's not played for 2 weeks now. And I would rather him not have to knock off the rust in a playoff game. Let him at least get a series or two in the regular season finale and go into the playoffs a little bit prepared. And no practice doesn't count for that. Live action is where you're going to get your results.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's such a touch and go thing because I definitely agree with you. We've seen it. That's one of the reasons the Packers, theoretically they start slowly at the beginning of the season is because their key guys don't play in the preseason. I know they wanted Jordan to play more than he had in the previous couple preseasons. Who knows what that realistically means? He did play a decent bunch in the first preseason game when he broke his left thumb, but so I do think they were truthful when they said he would play more. Probably he would have played like the first half of every preseason game kind of thing. And at the same time, it's like it's different because it's the regular season, because in preseason you're playing against like not the other team's full starting lineup. You're playing against half backups, almost all backups, depending on what the opponent decides to do. Whereas this week, the the flip side of the coin from what Joe is saying is like you're playing the Vikings who have nothing to play for except to and while they can't knock the Packers out of the playoffs, if they bloody our nose any more than it is, i.e., ding up Love again, potentially make him susceptible to a second concussion within a month, that just really, really puts whatever. I I don't know how realistic a deep playoff run is at this point because of the fact that you don't have Micah, the inconsistencies on both sides of the ball, all that kind of shit. But at the same time, I do think they should beat whoever they play the first week in the wild cards, because whether it's the Bears, they were the better team against the Bears with their backup quarterback for 60% of the game until they just all decided to collectively shit the bed in the final 5 minutes. And then I think that's the odds-on favorite for who the Packers will play in the first round of the playoffs, unless the Lion there's and that's the thing, is that there's all these other things, but the Packers won't know unless, even if they win, or no, it doesn't matter what happens in their game, they won't know because I forget if the Lions and the Vikings are playing after us. I think the Lions and the Bears are playing after us. I'm pretty sure they are. So it's kind of like, on one hand, or not on one hand, really it is, the risk reward is, how important is it to the Packers to have Jordan in rhythm when you have nothing to gain other than him getting in rhythm, but you have, as recently as last week 18, Jordan screwed up his shoulder a little bit, kind of, he had like a stinger basically, and couldn't finish that week 18 game in 2024. So, and then on top of that, we don't know who of the receivers is going to play. We don't know if Zach Tom is going to be cleared to play. He's another one, though. And we talked about it a little on the week 17 review, where Zach is in a similar situation as Jordan, where it's like, you don't want him playing cold, coming in cold against a playoff game without having played also in a month. And it's like, okay, like like you've got these two of your two basically best players on offense, two best, most important, however you want to weigh that, and they haven't played in a month. And it's like, how do you reconcile that? How do you weigh that out? Joe and I don't get paid the big bucks to make those decisions, but
Right.
I don't even know if fascinating is the right word to put with it, but that's the like only suspense unknown that goes into this game, because like we said, there is nothing for the Packers to gain. They're not going to knock the Vikings out of the playoffs. They are literally the last team in on the NFC. And yeah, I'm like, I don't want to say I'm indifferent to this game, but there's nothing I'm really looking forward to. Like, the literal only thing would be is if like Christian sits, Jaden sits, because like Joe brought up in the review show, this team hasn't had a bye. Yes, Jaden sat for half the season. Yes, Christian sat for like a third of the season, but neither of those guys have played 2 months of consecutive football. Well, Jaden about a month, Christian about 2 months consecutive football. And so it's like, do you give those guys a rest? Just, we know what happened to Christian in week 18 last year. And then, so that leaves the only thing you're really looking forward to is like, does Matthew Golden just get fed targets? And are they just like, fuck it, we're going to get the kid his first touchdown? And I know some people will be like, oh, it wouldn't matter. It does matter. Like, it really does matter for all parties involved, because from the it just does matter to a player to have those good stats going into an offseason. And we've both talked about how Matt Golden has produced all season. He hasn't scored a touchdown, but that's not necessarily his fault. And then on the other side of it, which is the side that I find more important, is you you're probably sitting Dobbs, some combination of Dobbs, Watson, and Reed. So Golden elevates to your wide receiver one or two, and it's like, get him and Jordan on the same page kind of thing, and that get in that rhythm where it's like, all right, how often can you look for this guy? Because the hesitation I have with Jordan playing, especially if the O line is shorthanded, is the Vikings front seven, Flores' blitz packages, all that kind of stuff. But then the other side of it is like, their DBs aren't really special, and if you can get traction between Love and Golden, that's something good for both potentially this postseason and also moving into next season when Dobbs is almost certainly gone. Malik is already gone. Melton is probably gone, and you need Golden and to a lesser extent Savion to step into bigger roles because you don't know out of Watson, Reed, and Wicks who is gonna be back after that. So yeah, like there is a lot to potentially gain from that end of it, but we'll see what happens because they would be very well within their rights to just say, fuck it, it's not worth risking Jordan. And if Watson, Reed, Dobbs are all sitting, Tom doesn't play, why are we going to. And if they go that route, then I won't. I won't necessarily say I'll like it, but I won't complain at all, if that makes sense.
No, I get it, and I get everybody else's opinion on it, but I keep going back to this team always seems to come flat out of a bye, and this would just be a bye for them then, and we can't have that. Not if you want to be a legit contender. And like I said with the Monty thing, well, are you going to be suffice if he just goes out there and plays 3 plays? Yeah, because that means he's seen live action for the first time in 2 weeks. And I just I get the aspect of injuries and stuff like that, but I want to see a prolonged run in the playoffs. I don't want to see another one and done. And especially if it is against the Bears. I would love to knock the Bears out of the playoffs. And you're not going to do that if your quarterback is trying to shake off the rust for 2 quarters, the first 2 quarters of the game. So I get it, and I understand everybody's reasoning behind it. And, you mentioned Zach Tom. I kind of feel the same way about him also. But then you get down to, okay, well, who do you sit and who do you don't sit, or who don't you sit? And you were listing off like Dobbs and Watson, and well, then when you do that, who's going to play receiver? Because
Right. And
you
that's the
know,
thing is like you can only call two guys up from the practice squad. I know they're gonna have like three roster spots because a guy's going on IR, but it's like you're not gonna put two more wide receivers on the active roster kind of thing, and you're not gonna
well, no,
like
they don't have any more roster spots at the moment, do they? Because they claimed Jonathan Ford today, and then they signed 2 of the DBs off the practice squad.
oh, that's right. I totally forgot. But then there, and so that takes care of that. But then it's like, okay, do you elevate? Like, if you sit those three receivers, do you elevate like Keeney James and Nayor or something like that? But like you're limited, and that was kind of the other point that we talked about a little bit on Sunday night. Is what's it called? When this isn't like I know a lot of people are like treat it like the preseason, but the problem is you don't have the 90-man roster that you do in the preseason where you can just sit all your starters and you still have like 40 guys to play. You don't have that at this point.
No,
You sit 13 guys, it's like, oh, so you're down to like 35 players that can play in the game kind of thing. And
because that
it
was
just
one
gets
thing that Monty kept throwing back. Well, then do you just leave Edrin and Quay out there because of this? It's like that's not the point, I mean, there's people that can play that spot if Quay and or Edrin sit. You've got McDuffie, you've got Tyron. Is Jamon Johnson still on the active roster, or was he?
I can't remember who is where that low on the depth chart anymore.
Well, I know they used his call ups.
Elevation. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't remember if real quick search. No, he is not on the active roster. Okay, so
Yeah.
I get that one. I mean, if they decide that they want to do a call up on that, but like you pointed out, there's only 2 call-ups that you can do from the practice squad. And even if you do those call-ups, then you have to decide, okay, well, who are they going to play over? And it's a big
Yeah,
mess.
like I get it, but then it's like where do you draw the line with who sits and who
Yeah.
plays kind of thing. You just can't student body right all your starters off the field in a regular season game. That's just not how it works. Like you get to sit like 5 players basically. You can fill your inactive list, but even that gets weird because then it's like you only have so many players at certain positions. So it's like, how do you do? They're heavy at D line. They're heavy at O line, sort of. They're heavy. They're technically heavy at receiver, but if you sit three of them, then you're not heavy at receiver, and you're
Yeah.
using both your call. So yeah, I
I
have
mean, if
no
I've got to
idea what
look
the
at the roster, this is what I would do. There are a handful of guys that I know for sure that I would probably sit just to not risk it. So the first one is Josh Jacobs. He's already ailing, whatever, sit him. We've got a decent couple backups with Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks. Let them ride the game. Plus, you've got the options with, whatever. Sit Christian if Christian doesn't want to play. That's fine. Because, we
he's earned
need,
it. He's
he's
truly
earned it.
earned it. Yeah,
Let's see, probably McKinney. I would let McKinney sit
yeah.
because we've got,
He's been
again,
nursing some, and he's been nursing some ding ups the whole season, kind of thing too. So it's like, get him off his feet. The other one that I just literally thought of is like, okay, if you sit Jordan, you're using one of your practice squad call ups on two.
Clayton. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, so you're down to one spot. So yeah, like,
So what is that?
y-
That's three of them that I've come up with. I would sit either. I would probably sit. No, because I think, yeah, I would probably sit Lucas. Uh, I mean, yeah, he's just coming back from an injury, but here's my reasoning behind it. They reactivated all Colin Oliver and Britton Cox, and those guys are going to need some playing time before, and Baron Sorrell are going to need some playing time before the playoff game. Because, is Colin going to live up to his new nickname of Baby Micah, or is he going to be a little rough around the edges until whatever? Because, this will be his first action in the NFL, period. He didn't even get a preseason. So I would say, I know people would hate me on this, but one of either Lucas or Rashawn need to sit.
yeah.
I don't know if Rashawn just needs to sit to get his mind right or whatever, which is weird because I got that right there, but watching me over my shoulder. But don't want to risk one of those two with the lack of pass rush we've been having. As I mean, they've been getting some pressure, but it hasn't been a full on attack. So I would sit one of those two guys, and then I don't know if there's anybody on the offensive line that I would just say sit their ass down because they haven't even been playing that great.
Yeah.
Maybe just for the hell of it, Sean Ryan, just so they could throw Jacob Monk in there to see if he's gonna do anything.
I think it's one of those where he starts the game but doesn't play more than like a quarter kind of thing or something like that. And then,
Yeah,
just because you same thing, you could only elevate one offensive lineman. They're not rolling into a game with eight less than eight kind of thing. And then
right.
like that's like, are you down Tom whether he's cleared or not cleared kind of thing? So it's like, yeah, your options are already limited and stuff. And yeah.
I want to see Monk be able to take some meaningful snaps
Yeah, I
because
agree. No, I totally agree.
that's going to give you an idea on if you're going to be able to roll with him at all next season.
Yep. Totally agree with
And
you.
so I think that's where I'm sitting on guys who need to sit. Otherwise, play them all. They especially on defense, they have not earned the right to not play in a game,
Yeah.
especially after last week and the mess that they put themselves into. I will say this: I am gaining even more and more respect to Javon Bullard because were you able to catch his locker room presser? Yeah, he called everybody out. He called himself out, and in so many words, he called everybody out. But he pretty much said what every fan is on their mind right now, and I laud him for that, especially being only a second year player. He stepped up and said that stuff. So If you guys haven't heard it yet, then go out. I would suggest go spending 3-4 minutes to go listen to what he had to say, because he was pretty dead on after that.
Yep, I totally agree with you. Like, just yeah, you just can't come out like that when you already know you're down your quarterback kind of thing, and then you just can't have the defense just shit the bed like that. But um, like I said, they've just got to find something at this point. I don't know what it necessarily is, but have something that you're confident about going into the playoffs. Like, you don't have your quarterback. You haven't had your quarterback the last couple of weeks. Your defense just got the shit kicked out of it the last 65 minutes of game time. Like, put some good stuff on tape to feel decent about. Whether it's, you know, and some people will say, like, if like Rashawn plays or Lucas plays and they get like a 3 sack game, it's like, oh, like, what use is it? I'm like, sometimes guys just need to see good shit on. We talked about it with Tucker as a rookie. It's like, throw the guy a bone every once in a while so that he's not just seeing himself losing a block every play kind of thing. Like, let him see, like, oh yeah, you turned that 2 yard catch into a 10 yard gain kind of thing. With like Rashawn and Lucas, see, you can get a sack or sacks in a game kind of. And like, neither, Lucas has definitely played better on a stat to stat basis than Rashawn has. I'm not gonna mince words or anything like that, but like, the pass rush overall, the past 4 games really, they're playing quarterbacks who are run threats, and it's like, you weren't gonna just get to tee off on any of these guys. And I know that as things set right now, they're gonna play the Bears again, and they're gonna play Caleb again, but it's like, it would be nice to just see them go against a more immobile quarterback and be able to tee off on the pocket again, like they did against the Vikings back before Thanksgiving. Just, I know I'm not really a believer in like multiple game momentum, but I do think there is something to like guys putting good film multiple, at least a game after having a few down weeks or a bad stretch, because it's like, there is that mental hurdle of like, yeah, I still can do stuff, like good stuff on the field. This whole team needs that. Like, and like you said, that's where I do agree that I don't care if it's 3 plays or 30 plays. I do want to see Jordan play again in the regular season, where like I just listed about why this game doesn't matter, but even more so, I want to see him get, like you said, get to knock some rust off in a game that has no, what's it called, no holds on it. Like, there's no stress, or there not no stress, but there's nothing at stake. And
Yeah,
so it's like, okay, just go and let it rip a few times. And like you said, you don't want it to be where the first time he's seeing a pass rush is, it's like, oh, and then it's like, oh, and Zach wasn't ready for that first pass play too, kind of thing and stuff. So yeah,
that's basically where I'm at. It's, again, how many times has this team fallen flat after a bye week? And if you treat this like a bye week, that you're going to be going into the first playoff game as a bye, coming off a bye week. And like I said earlier, this team so far has not earned the right to sit most of their players.
yep. So we won't continue to beat the dead horse on that one. Like, they've got a lot of things to figure out over the next, what is it, 10 days or whatever it is by the time you're listening to this episode. But they don't have time to wait to figure things out. They've got, and like, we kind of pointed this out, because of the losses on defense, they're at the point where LaFleur has to put his best game plan together to score 30 points. And I know some people are like, well, if they face the Eagles but that has to be the goal. It might be a pie in the sky goal, but this whole do enough on both sides of the ball to control the pace. You can't you're not gonna do shit in the playoffs if that's your mindset going in. You don't have the best trump cards on either side of the field. The only trump card you have is Jordan going nuclear at this point and just putting 40 on another team. And like I said, you can't expect to score 30 plus every game of the playoffs, but you can make that your goal. Like it can't be an expectation, but you just draw your best shit up to make that that has to be the target you're aiming for. And if you shoot, you take your best shots, you unload the clip, and you just don't get there, so be it. But this team cannot be going, we're gonna ice down Jacob so that hopefully we can control the tempo of the game. The other teams in the playoffs are probably better at you playing that game. You have to just come out and throw haymakers, and if they connect, you're probably moving on to the next round. And if you don't, hey, you have nothing to complain. I won't complain about. Oh, they just couldn't make the plays. They if they try to, just don't leave it to chance by trying to play this slow, bleeded out game that they have all, because it's bitten them in the ass every opportunity it could, starting with the Cleveland game all the way through the Chicago, the last Chicago game. So like, don't fuck around. You've already found out. You've fucked around so much, and you found out multiple times this season. You can't win. You're not. And I'm gonna just say you can't win that way anymore because you're either out Kraft, you're out in Parsons. Rashawn is a lost soul right now. Jacobs is walking wounded. Like, you have too many things that are working against you that you can't count on any of those things turning around at this point.
For sure. So I do like them adding Jonathan Ford. I know he's not going to give you a ton, but he should at least give you a little bit in the uh, run stopping game, maybe a little bit more than what they've had already. Uh, I was kind of a little bit high on him when he came to the Packers in the draft, and I we've had conversations where I just couldn't understand why they didn't use him, and yeah, I don't know. But what are your thoughts on them bringing in I just blanked on his name, Diggs, the guy that was just released by the Cowboys? Do you think it would be a I'm all for it because they just need
Yeah,
bodies.
I'd be for it if they could somehow get him to agree to sign like what would amount to a 2-year deal. I know it's only for like one game, just because I don't see how he could possibly be in any sort of physical condition to give them anything. This if he just couldn't get on the field for Dallas. I don't see how he's just going to turn around and be healthy to play well for them this. And maybe
Because
who
he's
knows?
taken some of Micah's juice.
And who knows? Maybe it is one of those he does just have 3 to 4 games in him kind of thing. And Dallas was trying to play the long game. We have him signed to this long-term contract kind of thing. And maybe Green Bay's like, how many games you got in you? Fuck it. Like, so like they're at the point where, and it's not so much that we changed our opinion on what Asante Samuel Jr. is. It's just that they have no other their options are basic. And like I said, when it came to like the trade deadline or like who they could get, the options were a guy with a surgically repaired neck, or an ancient Stephon Gilmore at the time were the street free agent options. And then this is where Diggs falls in, where it's like, I don't trust that he'd be healthy to play at any point this playoffs, but like you said, screw it, why not at this point? Like that's where I fall on the barometer as well. So like, it's not going to cost them anything. It's going to cost them a prorated vet minimum deal, which is nothing at this point, and it totally is a why the fuck not?
My thing is would you rather have the chance that Diggs steps in and can do something, or would you rather have one of your UDFAs that you just signed off of the practice squad chase around the NFL caliber receivers.
Yep.
Do we want a Ladarius Gunther back out there chasing a Julio Jones, or do you want to take a chance that Diggs is going to come in and actually maybe
Yeah,
provide something?
and I know that both of us have at different times, we've noted how like, stats and production have overrated him in terms of how good of a coverage corner he really is. But like, fuck it. If he comes in and catches an interception or two in the playoffs, that's found money. Like
That's
that.
more than any of the Packers did.
Exactly. So, like, at this point, why not? Like, that's my attitude is just, why the fuck not? But other than that, you got anything else on your plate for this one? Uh, like I said, it's hard for us to do over unders because we have no clue who the fuck is going to play at this point. And like I said, the the team is playing to find things out about itself. I know that like people are like, what does that even mean? But it's like, can you just get the ball rolling literally and figuratively so that, like you said, you're not cold going into the playoffs? So we'll see. Who really knows at this point?
Right. No, I don't have much more else for it. Yeah, I mean, we've pretty much said it all. That uh, I do have to say that, reiterate what you said earlier about LaFleur needing to reach into the bag and really call a game and not just half-ass it.
Yep.
And same with Halfley. I know the Vikings are definitely going to be without JJ. Not that it's going to make much of a difference, but who is it that they've got over there? Is it still that Bosmer or Brosmer
Yeah,
or
Brosmer.
whatever? And he's not shown a ton.
They beat the Lions last week because the Lions couldn't stop turning the fucking ball over. And there was a
Right.
point where he had like completed 10 passes for like 60 yards or something like, or no, it was like 10 passes for like 30 yards or something like that. So,
I don't even think it
um,
was that, because he ended up with like only a net 7 yards or net
yeah, they
17
were
yards or something
negative
like
net
that.
yards at halftime or some shit like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not too worried. But don't, if the Packers just let him have it, then he's going to. Uh, he was 9 for 16 for 51 yards. He was sacked 7 times. So yeah, if you let that kid run all over you like a Tommy DeVito or uh, Bailey Zappi, then you don't deserve a playoff spot.
Yeah. So, yeah. Who knows what they're going to show in this game because, you know, they've played that, like I said, both sides of the ball, they played that like, oh, let's control the tempo of the game. I don't know if Halfley's gonna really unveil anything in week 18, but it would be nice to see a little bit of something. But yeah, like I said, we won't keep continuing to beat the same horse at this point. You want to just go into our little giveaway session preview or anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, we can go ahead and talk about it. I was going to pull up real quick the link and show it. If I can think how to do it.
Share my screen or your screen, not mine.
Well, I was just going to show the link. This is riveting, I tell you. Oh, screw it. Just go to Facebook. So as we mentioned last episode, we are going to try to do a, what do you want to call it, uh, a drive to get some more followers over on our Facebook so we can start doing live streams over there. Mike has sent some good stuff. We got some good stuff from a couple people. So I'm going to grab them out of the box, and then if it's something Mike gave, he can describe it. So the first thing I got is, I don't have good lighting. This 8x10 signed by Dave Robinson, donated to us by John Del Rey of Clubhouse Sports. Mike's lucky so far. It's all been my shit. This signed by McManus and Malik Willis. There is no COA of it. If you're a collector and you know what that is, because I got those in person. Ooh, this is one of Mike's things. He's going to be able to tell you a little bit more about it.
So those are Aloha Max. So in short, just chocolate covered macadamia nuts. I believe they're all dark chocolate in the box that I sent over to Joe. So there are, depending on how Joe decides to break up the memorabilia, we'll split up the cases of Aloha Max.
Oh, this is the stuff we were kind of talking about last time too.
All right, Li powder. So basically, yeah, the short on it is that is Hawaii based candy coke, cocaine. But you can
Don't
put
snort it. This is our PSA right now. Don't snort it.
It burns. Don't ask me why I know that. But so it is a flavoring powder, pickled plum, and you can put it on, like, you go to Hawaii and they put it almost on anything. It's mixed into shave ice flavors. It's put just straight on shaved ice. You can put it on ice cream. You can put it on cakes. People put it on things like hot dogs and stuff. Whatever you want to, if you taste it and you think you want to put it on something, you can put it on it and just say whoop-de-doo and have fun with it. We're, the melting pot of the Pacific. We're all for experimentation.
And we got this from Mike.
And so, one example, Sour Patch Kids, everyone's favorite, but these ones have the Li powder on it, so it'll give it a sort of an extra tart sour kick, but also a sweetness to it. So, just adds a little bit different depth of flavor to the candy.
I'm throwing this in there. This is actually from the factory that I had security guard at. This was given to us during their family day. It's a hay baler, and it's got the JDOW, which is John Deere Ottumwa Works, and they cut this out of one of the lasers. It's solid metal, solid steel, and it's very, you can't see it on my camera right now, but it's very intricate cuts. And so that's one of my contributions from Iowa. I think I got one more thing in here.
And that is just arare. So, what's it? Rice crackers. It's got like a soy sauce based flavoring on top of it. It's dry, like, yeah, and you can
Yeah, they
throw
feel
that
like
on.
crackers.
Yeah, you can eat it alone. The big thing in Hawaii is you mix it with your popcorn.
Really?
Yeah, eat it with your popcorn. Eat it that way.
Just
But
the
yeah,
look and the feel of them, they remind me of like oyster crackers.
a little bit. And yeah, you can garnish it on a whole bunch of things, but popcorn is the biggest one that, like I said, you eat it standalone or you throw it in with your popcorn. Gives it a little bit of different texture change up, and it tastes really good.
So that's the stuff we got here. On top of that, we are going to throw, whoever wins can have a choice of the merch out of our merch shop, an item out of there. But like I said, all you got to do, go to Facebook, look up Ohana Packers Edition. You'll see the logo. Follow us. Ooh, I all of a sudden got gassy. I must be thinking of Ramage. Go over, follow us. Once we hit 100 followers over there, we will do the drawing. Now, we're not going to stop at 100, so keep following. We'll try to be a little bit more active over there. You can see when we post new episodes and all that stuff over there. And on top of that, like I said, we want to try to be able to stream to as many places as we can. Unfortunately, Facebook you have to have a minimum follower to be over there. We are inching closer to it. So, like I said, go over, follow us there. This is not going to be the only giveaway we do. We are going to have another one because Mike sent a bunch of those boxes of candies. So we are going to give some out on that. And I still got some more things to give out on my side. So That's about all I got for a spiel.
Yep, and Joe's kind of alluded to it, but we are not above bribery to get our followers up. So the more stuff we find to give out, the more times we'll do raffles like this, and if it keeps y'all coming back, we'll keep doing them. But just to continue to plug the show, check out the website, ohanapackers.org. Please check us out there. Support us through the shop on that website, as Joe mentioned. Follow us on your favorite social medias at Ohana_Packer on Twitter, at Ohana Packers Edition on Instagram. Search Ohana Packers Edition on Facebook. Please follow us there. As you said, you must be following us to be eligible for the drawing. Please follow us on your favorite podcasting apps. Give us a like and a subscribe, Ohana Packers Edition, and continue to follow us. And even if we don't send the question or comment request, just send something to just add us. Just say like, hey, why don't you guys talk about this on the show? We get it. We'll talk about it. Like I said, give someone other than True North spotlight as much as he does give us feedback and activity when we do live streams or just any other content. We would like to have other voices in there as well.
No, Mike froze at the wrong time. Mike froze at the wrong time. While we're waiting for him to reconnect, though, I would like to say that, go out and support your... Oh, never mind.
Just couldn't hold on for the last bit.
Okay, let me finish this out real quick. I was going to do this while you were gone. This comes to mind because we just brought a new pup home from the Humane Society. Please go out, support your local animal shelters. A lot of them are in need. There's a lot of dogs there or a lot of animals there that could use a home or could use support. This poor guy was at our Humane Society for almost 2 years. And, luckily this is a no-kill shelter. There are too many kill shelters out there because there's too many people that don't know how to take care of an animal. So whether it's
Oh, God.
Finish it out. Finish it.
All right. Go Pack Go and aloha.
Green Bay hustle, grind it up. Hit the field, we don't bluff. Touchdown dances, feel the love. Jordan's got that MVP stuff. It's time for OPE. Let's go. Packers bringing that show. It's time for OU. Know who wanna go.